What's going on, everybody? Welcome into 104.3 The Fans Pregame Live as we get set for some Monday Night Football between the Broncos and the Chargers. It's been 10 days since we last saw this team after a horrific loss to the Indianapolis Colts on Thursday Night Football. But joined with me, Cecil and Mase and Andrew Mason. Andrew Mason actually on the ground in Los Angeles. How are you both doing, Cecil?
Yeah, Day's still punching, and I have such anxiety for this game. I just don't want the Broncos to be embarrassing. I want them to win. I think they will win if they do this one thing, which we'll talk about.
Mase?
I'm still punching, although I'm not sure how well I'm punching after I sampled the pregame buffet here. It's an amazing stadium, but the food today was awful. It was some of it was fine, but I literally had the worst pasta salad I've ever had in my life. I don't think the pasta ever been cooked. It was just nasty.
Oh my gosh. Well, Mase, I'm so sorry. You're always like raging about the food out there or when you're traveling. So I'm sorry to hear. Well, hopefully the Broncos, I guess, look better than the pasta salad does. But see, so let me take one guess. If the Broncos do this, they can win. And is that run the ball?
Yeah, 1,000% run the ball. And we see it across the league, whether it's Atlanta, whether it's the Jets, whether it's the Giants. If you have a commitment to running the ball and you stick with that, you will put yourself in the best position to win. And on Schlereth and Evans this morning, I said the same thing. And Mark Schlereth said when his conversations he's had with Mike Shanahan, Kyle Shanahan, hell, with Arthur Smith from Atlanta, if you run the ball 35 times, you're going to win. You're going to put yourself in a good position to win. So I think that's a great number. Even if it's 30, please just have that commitment to running the ball, set up your defense to play strong and to stay strong as the game goes on. You do that by utilizing time of possession and by running the ball and having that intent to run the ball, even if you do get down by, let's say, a field goal or a touchdown. You can still run the ball, so stick with it.
You got to run the ball, and then you got to take it away. I mean, as I wrote about on DenverFan.com, the Chargers are 4-17 when Justin Herbert is picked off at least once. When the Broncos have beaten the Chargers with Justin Herbert, because they're 2-2 against the Chargers since Herbert became their starter. The 2 wins for the Broncos, they intercepted Herbert twice in each of those games. So continue that. They do a good job against him. And one of the 2 games that the Broncos lost the Chargers was when their defense was decimated by COVID absences last January. So really, the Broncos on defense should have every bit of confidence that they can contain Justin Herbert, take the ball away at least once, and get him to be a more hesitant passer than he is against a lot of other teams.
Let's stick on the running back conversation real quick. Run the ball. Now, who do you want to see running the ball, Cecil?
Well, who do I want or who's it going to be? Because they're going to use a hot hand approach, and I think that's the dumbest approach of all time, especially if you don't allow someone to get hot. I want it to be Latavius Murray, but I'll take anybody. Honestly, I want that commitment to running the football, even if it's a 3-headed committee and it's 10 carries apiece for Latavius Murray, Melvin Gordon, and Mike Boone. I really don't care. I want to see that intent to run the ball. I think it should be Murray and not Gordon, but I also live in reality, and I know that, well, they're kind of stuck with Melvin Gordon for right now. So, yeah, whatever. I don't care. If they just run the ball, they can have success, and that's with any of the 3 backs.
Mase?
Yeah, I don't care who it is. I mean, as long as you're getting productivity, it's probably going to be the hot hand. I know Cecil doesn't like it, but you know what? If one running back seems to have better vision, a better nose for things tonight than the others, and just then adapt accordingly. If it's Mike Boone, then feed Mike Boone the ball 20 times. If it's Melvin Gordon, feed him the rock 20 times. One thing about Melvin Gordon is he's not going to lack for motivation tonight going up against his old team, the Chargers. So maybe that puts a little bit of a extra spring in his step tonight.
2 players are coming off of IR with Justin Simmons, or I guess there's a few more, but the 2 main ones are Justin Simmons and Greg Dulcich coming off of IR. Which one are you both looking forward to seeing more, and why is it, I'm assuming, Greg Dulcich, Cecil?
Yeah, it's Dulcich because Albert Okwuegbunam's a scratch for this game and inactive for this game. So it is Dulcich, as I've said on this show, many shows, Orange or Blue Today, whatever. Like, talk to me in 3 years. But can we get a little slice now? Can we get a little glimpse now? Because you see tight end receiving weapons. I had mentioned what the Jets, Rachel, you and I have talked about Tyler Gronklin with the Jets, right? We talk about the Falcons and what they were able to do, not only with McCole Pruitt, but also with Kyle Pitts, right? In their victory. And, you know, you have that commitment to the tight end who sets up nicely in the middle of the field. I think actually the edges are where you attack sale concepts will work. tonight against this Chargers defense. I would largely stay away from the middle. But if you can get Dulcich on a seam, use that speed, use his run after catchability, I wouldn't mind seeing a glimpse. Not expecting a lot, but I'm excited to see him.
Yeah, I imagine he's going to be on a pitch count tonight just because the Broncos are going to be cautious with him coming off the hamstring injury, and also because he's at such an elementary stage in terms of what he knows about this offense and his ability to run it, because he missed most of training camp. He missed half of OTAs. He up until the last 7 days, he didn't practice for the first 5 weeks of the season. So there's probably only so much that he can do. But if you can just get him a little bit involved in those snaps, it's kind of like KJ Hamler. He's not playing many snaps, but it seems like they find a way to involve him in the attack when they, at least as a target when he's out there. So maybe the same thing for Greg Dulcich. And basically by him playing, he's going to fill the role of Albert O as the pass catching tight end when you're trying to spread out a defense. So there isn't room right now for two of those guys to be active on game night. That's why you're going to see Dulcich tonight. Albert O had his shot, and basically between the lack of skill he displayed as a blocker and even a drop pass as well, that's, he played his way out of the lineup. He only has himself to blame.
Was that possibly the last game that we're going to see of Albert O's NFL career, Cecil?
No, not an NFL career. Broncos career, I mean, maybe, but I don't even think that either. It does give me a chance to bring up Chatfield Chargers' very own Dalton Keene. Lives right at Trailmark, just down the road here from Roxborough. So Dalton is with the Denver Broncos now. Love him. He's a teammate of my son's. They were both quarterbacks in high school. So, you got an H-back, fullback, tight end guy. He can even do a little gadget quarterback like Taysom Hill. He's on the practice squad. Unless he's been cut today, Mase. But anyway, so whatever with Okwuegbunam. They're trying to find tight end talent. I think it's a smart move to bring in a guy like Dalton Keene. But Okwuegbunam's still going to play.
Well, you figure the tight ends aren't going to all stay healthy the rest of the year. There's going to be an opening for Okwuegbunam to play because one of those other guys is going to get hurt. And shoot, if Greg Dulcich is not fully past the hamstring issues and he has an aggravation, you're going to see Albert O back out there again, getting a jersey. So, yeah, I mean, I don't think it's the last we've seen him for his NFL career. I don't even think it's the last we've seen of him as a Bronco. But I'd say this, in terms of the Broncos' long-term planning, I don't believe their long-term planning involves Albert O being a primary tight end. I think that boat has sailed.
We've also heard a lot from Nathaniel Hackett about, this offense and simplifying it. Are we going to see a much more simple offense looking today for Russell Wilson, Cecil?
Yeah, and I think that comes down to running the ball, but it also comes down to giving him simple reads where it's like make the high-low read or run or throw it away, like whatever. And they can be where they want to be eventually. We all know the system. There's not a problem with the system. It's the problem in getting it kind of lifted off, right? You need that lift off first, and you need most of that boost then. Well, start sprinkling it in as the season goes on. Obviously, you don't yet have the talent to fully run it, mainly tight end, to fully run it the way that you want to and the way that it needs to. Because when it's ran fluidly, we saw Aaron Rodgers and Matt LaFleur have problems when they first got together. Matt Ryan and Kyle Shanahan had problems when they first got together. Guess what happened when those two quarterbacks got that system? They became league MVPs. So I'm not saying Wilson will be league MVP next year, but yeah, next year they'll get it. Right now, simplify, keep it simple, and the Broncos can win with that formula.
Yeah, what he said.
What he said. I love with the point too.
Yeah, I there's nothing I can add to that.
Well, Mase, I need to ask you because you're the only one out there. How has Russell Wilson looked? How's the shoulder looking? What's the update for him?
I mean, once we get done with this, I'm actually going to go watch him warm up. So so unfortunately, because we had the 3:30 show and then getting the inactives ready, I haven't had a chance to really check in on him just yet. So unfortunately, that'll probably come in some notes on Twitter after we get done with this.
Where are the binoculars when you need them?
At my desk over there. Like
so they're there.
I'm in the meal. I'm in the kind of the general gathering area, meal area here because there's a little more space.
Okay, eating bad pasta in that area. Well, we did have a couple questions that came out on Twitter that I want to answer. So will Russ utilize all of his offensive weapons, or will it just be the same old, if so and so isn't open, then call the play dead? Cecil?
Yeah, I'd like to see him spread it around a little bit more, but if we're keeping it simple, then that means it might not be. You might have things drawn up where this is supposed to go to Sutton. You're going to have a check down to the running back and run or throw it away. So it sounds nice to use all the weapons and spread it around. And yeah, that's a possibility. But if they are keeping it simple, to me, that means maybe limiting who you're targeting and when.
Nice.
Well, I mean, it's whoever, it's wherever the progressions go and whoever's open. So, I mean, it's one of those things where it just may work itself out naturally in the flow of things to where everybody gets involved. And so, I mean,
well, and I'll say this, Rachel, I'm not against just going for whoever's there, whoever's available. Like, and I am one of those people who are like, oh, if they target Cortland Sutton 12 times, yeah, fine. I'm fine with that. Just like I am with the running backs. Oh, they ran the ball 35 times. Fine. I don't care. I don't need it. I don't need Andrew Beck to get catches. I don't need Eric Tomlinson to get targets. I need production wherever and however that happens.
And I think people are worried because of KJ, of Mase, welcome back, with that play that he just was eyes only on Cortland, KJ wide open, possibly could get the touchdown. So I think people are worried that maybe Russell Wilson has 100% pick favorites and they're really targeting that. Mase, I don't know if you want to finish or you remember what you were saying. Oh, and now he's muted. Technology never fails. Never fails. Mase, we're going to let you head on out. Go. I hopefully not eat any more bad pasta salad. I hope that the pasta and everything else is good. We'll answer another question, though, that Cecil, I think you might actually get kind of a kick out of that came from Twitter and said, will we call a passing play on 4th and 1? Will we go for an NFL record field goal instead of a first down? Will we run the ball on the goal line? And I took these all of how many bad decisions are we going to see out of the coaching staff today?
Both coaching staffs. Brandon Staley's not a good head coach. Like, exciting, young, defensive mind under Vic Fangio. Yeah, Brandon Staley regularly makes bad decisions. Oh, he's talking about Nathaniel Hackett. Speaking of bad decisions, there are Nathaniel Hackett bad decisions. And for me, it comes down to too many cooks in the kitchen. You go to Russell Wilson. What do you like? What are you thinking here? But have your plan and go. Because at the end of the day, and this is more of a life thing than it is a football thing, but football is life. It's all on us. Mm-hmm. It's all on us. People can help out here and there, but it's on you to go pull yourself up by your bootstraps, to go make it happen. Ain't no one here to save you, right? No one's here with the white horse or whatever to ride in and save the day. Like, no, it's you. Nathaniel Hackett, you want to keep your job as the Broncos head coach. That's on you. That's not going to a committee. Right. So what is it? The line from Star Wars, Rachel? Like, I don't have time to discuss with this committee. I am not a committee. Like, stop going to the committee. And what do you guys think? And what do you think? No, instinct. Use your instinct. He's a Hackett. He's a Hackett. That name is legacy in the NFL. Use what's in your DNA. Football is in your blood. Use your instinct. Go with your gut, because at the end of the day, it's your ass that's going to get fired if things don't work out.
No, very true. When it comes to Russell Wilson and Nathaniel Hackett, people are saying that maybe the possibility of why this offense is so complicated is because they're trying to mix both ideas from Russell Wilson and Hackett. Do they just need to pick one of these and then roll with it? Or do you like that they're able to kind of mix it a little?
That hasn't worked. I like what works. And for me, that's fit. And you have to find the fit. I wrote about it in Mile High Monday at DenverFan.com. You got to find the fit. And if that means, Russ, we're doing almost everything you like, and can we do a little bit of this? Fine. If it works, let's say their record now, was 4-1. You know what I mean? And it was working, but Hackett hadn't implemented a system. Fine. You're doing it. Baby steps. You'll get there. It's a very complicated system in terms of language and the offensive line play. You have to have the right players to make it work. They obviously don't. So don't rush things and don't force things. Square peg, round hole. Make sure it fits. And if that means doing more of what Russ likes, so be it. Go win.
What worries you most about tonight?
Hackett. It's Hackett. This team has a Hackett problem. This team has a head coach that has listening to too many people, that is not going with his gut, that is avoiding and really just abandoning the run way too soon. Like, there's no need for that. If you're Nathaniel Hackett, have some stick-to-itiveness. Stick with that ground game. When the chips are down, you can lean on the rush. Where's some RPOs? Look at what they're doing with Jalen Hurts. Look at what they're doing with Marcus Mariota. Look at what they're doing with Zach Wilson. Your next opponent is the Jets. The Jets could go beat you.
Yep.
You want to lose to the Raiders and then the Colts and then the Chargers and then the Jets and just hope you beat Jacksonville and London? Seriously? Like, no, go out there, make your decisions, stick to with the run, and lean on your defense.
What's your concern level with Russell Wilson and the shoulder?
It's going to be the same. Russell Wilson hurt is better than Marcus Mariota. Marcus Mariota won against a good 49ers team. Marcus Mariota is not as good as Zach Wilson. Well, Russell Wilson is better than Zach Wilson, even though he's hurt. So my concern level is actually pretty low, probably a 3 out of 10, just because that's the way it's going to be. He's going to play like that. He's going to have to deal with it, and it's not really going to get better or worse. So not really concerned with it.
Buckle up. Let's ride, everybody, and run the dang ball. Cecil and Mase, Andrew Mason out in Los Angeles. Love having him on. And Rachel Vigil will be back for halftime with Halftime Chill presented by Coors Light. Make sure you come hang out with us and go Broncos, everybody. We'll see you in a little.